Managers aren't known for their fashion sense. Sure, you can point out that the bald fraud Pep Guardiola wears turtlenecks sometimes, or that Jurgen Klopp has made multiple attempts to make track suits look fashionable on the touchlines. Even Antonio Conte's mentality that a coach has to be like a good tailor doesn't change the fact that his suits look plain and kind of tacky.
You're tacky and I hate you.
Thankfully, there is one man in Ecuador that has decided to change the game as we know it. Segundo Castillo.
Calle pero elegante.
Ever since officially taking charge as the manager of Barcelona de Guayaquil in late 2024, Segundo Castillo has begun to make a name for himself not only for the positive results he's been bringing to the club, but also for the sheer elegance he's brought to the touchlines with his fits. I mean, look at this man. Look at him! He is, in fact, such a gentleman that he's called Segundo because ladies come first.
Huh?
You know, Segundo, because that translates to second in English. Oh, you get the idea. Let's just keep moving along already. Now, some of you might be confused. Some of you might even be doubting whether this Ecuadorian man truly is doing it like nobody out there. There might be even that one Burnley fan that's going to bring up Scott Parker wearing a cardigan once or twice and calling him fashionable for it. Or maybe you might even go back in time to point out how dapper the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson or Arsene Wenger looked while commending their powerhouse clubs in England to their best eras. But let's be real, your favorite manager from the past or present sure as hell isn't busting out a smoking jacket with a matching vest, a bow tie, and looking like a man ready to style and profile on the Met Gala rather than managing an Ecuadorian football team in the blessed Copa Libertadores. In fact, while Segundo has started to wear such fits around this time of taking over as the manager of Barcelona SC after they fired previous manager Ariel Holan, it wasn't until the third round of the qualifiers in the Libertadores where Segundo Castillo became a viral sensation with his white smoking jacket, matching vest, black bow tie, pants, and shoes. A fit that only accentuated his team's performance as Barcelona defeated Brazilian powerhouses Corinthians 3-0 in the first leg of the qualifier. The man wore a whole suit based on the colors of his ops for that week and led his team to beating the brakes off of them. If that isn't what this whole generation calls aura, I don't know what is. From journalists across Latin America praising the man's style in sheer elegance, to the internet doing its thing by using Puerto Rican rapper and singer Tego Calderón's 2004 single Punto y Aparte as the background soundtrack to accentuate Castillo's fashion, calle pero elegante, from the streets but elegant, the Barcelona SC boss went viral. But that game wouldn't be the last time that Sir's second castle, and yes, that's literally a whole bit that the man himself has embraced and made into his Instagram name, would bless South American football with more incredible looks. As he continued to lead Barcelona SC through the qualifying phase of the Libertadores and started the 2025 Campeonato Ecuatoriano de Fútbol Serie A, Castillo continued to dazzle the footballing stage with more variations of his tuxedos for those sweet, glorious Copa Libertadores nights, and even experimented with looks that would have you think he just got done making a cameo on Peaky Blinders.
No f***ing fighting!
In fact, the Englishman vibes a particular outfit gave out aren't too out of range for Sir's second castle. As a former Ecuador international during his playing days, his career took him across the globe. Nicknamed El Mortero due to his powerful shot from outside the box, Segundo's playing career took him to every continent on the planet over 2 decades, including a pair of loan stints with Everton and Wolverhampton Wanderers, while he was under contract with Serbian giants Red Star Belgrade in the late 2000s. His international career with Ecuador also saw him become a constant starter and sometimes captain for their national team. being one of the key contributors to their 2006 FIFA World Cup campaign, where Ecuador made it to the second round of the competition for the first time in its history. Castillo's playing stint also included a few years at Barcelona SC, who were more than happy to bring him on board as an assistant coach in 2022 after his retirement as a player. During his time as an assistant, Castillo was able to learn under managers such as Fabian Bustos, who had led Barcelona de Guayaquil to a league trophy in 2020 and the 2021 Copa Libertadores semifinals, and Ariel Holland, who had won the Copa Sudamericana in 2017 with Argentinian side Club Atlético Independiente. Segundo also had some interim managerial stints during his time frame, but it was in late 2024 that everything changed. Holland was fired, and Castillo's 7 games in charge as the interim manager ended with 3 wins and 4 draws, keeping the Guayaquil Giants in 3rd place on the table and ensuring their qualification for the preliminary stages of the Copa Libertadores. That would be more than enough to get Segundo Alejandro Castillo Nazareno, yes, that is his full name, named as the full-time manager on December 17, 2024, to lead the Ídolo del Astillero to their next great era in their 100th year of existence. As of the time of this video, he hasn't looked too shabby. Across the Ecuadorian Serie A, he's got Barcelona SC in 1st place on the table with 9 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. While his run with Barcelona SC in the Copa Libertadores' group stage hasn't gone as well as they would have liked, El Mortero can at least say that he managed a draw against River Plate in the Argentine powerhouse's own building, along with serving looks on just about every single Libertadores match. Let's be real, neither you nor I would have the fortitude to rock a full leopard animal print 3-piece suit. No, don't lie to me right now. I know you wouldn't do it, and neither would I. Unless this channel gets to 50,000 subscribers or something along those lines. No, totally not a thing that's happening anytime soon, I'm sure, but in the odd case you all want to see something like that, you know what to do now. Right, back to business. We've seen the man, we've seen his style, we've talked about his history, but it doesn't quite explain why he started to suit up in such a manner on the sidelines. When asked why he decided to start wearing these suits during the Copa Libertadores matches, Castillo didn't hesitate to reply during an interview with Diario Olé. I feel like I have to live up to the team I'm on and the tournament we're playing in. It's my wife who helps me with my clothes. If she sees me dressed well, that's enough. Not only is he an elegant man, but he's also a wife guy. We do love to see it. Now, normally, this would be where I'd go into something along the lines of the tactical approach that he takes, or some of the main players on his Barcelona SC roster that have helped this club get through the qualifiers of the Libertadores. But with the South American season still having a long way to go in both domestic and continental competitions, it's a wait-and-see approach on how Segundo Castillo's first season as a full-time manager will pan out. So instead, I thought that I would actually try to spread the gospel to my English-speaking football-watching friends regarding the most elegant man currently in the sport today. There are a few people who are already tuned in, such as Rank Talks Ball, who covers both South American football and his beloved Boca Juniors in an incredible manner, and Niran, aka FNG, who regularly features the man on his FTW series each time there's been a Libertadores game where Segundo Castillo put on his fits. But I wanted to gauge how some of those closest to me felt, and thus, I ended up sending a few DMs through various social media outlets, waited a couple of days, and oh, would you look at that? We got some responses. First, we have a friend of the channel in Dagno Diagonal, and the man who once saw fit to put me in the B tier for Brazil on a list of football content creators on YouTube. He's often more preoccupied with pointing out how Electronic Arts has screwed up at least one of their 3 football games on a constant basis, but he took the time to examine the glory of Sir Second Castle and gave us the following. Sweet Jesus, what a f***ing king. I am very much inclined to agree with the statement, especially since Dag did his due diligence by finding a tweet of the man in his smoking pink jacket look from many weeks ago and sending it as a response along with the words above. A very fine set of first impressions by a man who has some fairly solid opinions, especially when considering that Dag, unironically, subjects himself on a yearly basis to supporting the Nebraska Cornhuskers when it comes to college sports. After hearing from Dagno, I got a response in return from the man who single-handedly got me to care about clubs such as Vegalta Sendai and made me realize that I should stop supporting teams owned by Stan Kroenke after my Colorado Avalanche fandom happened. Yes, I got the one and only Macbo to chime in as well on our glorious Ecuadorian king. When you got a club to manage at 3 and prom at 7.
Excuse me?
To be honest, I'm just happy he managed to get back to me on this after unlocking the infinite money glitch on YouTube that is just making fun of Real Madrid fans. Plus, Eurovision 2025 just happened, and I'm sure he was super busy trying to figure out how he could jinx half of the finalists in that field as revenge for a very specific country, getting him a temporary ban off Twitch for streaming it last year. If you know, you know. But while getting opinions from footballing heads is one thing, I wanted to reach out to friends from various walks of life here. So I also got a hold of my Twitter pal Cam Hawkins, who is a writer and contributor for Yahoo Sports' Uncrowned Comet Sports Media brand, and whose work has also been featured in multiple sports media outlets such as The Ringer and Complex. He had this much to say after I gave him a little bit of a background on Segundo Castillo. Bro is suited up. Seems extravagant. Yes, Cam, he is in fact suited up, and he is very extravagant. The kind of man who probably did his fair share of clubbing in his heyday before settling down and becoming a family man. But it is nice to know that no matter where you look at it, or from which fandom you come from, people do appreciate a sharply dressed man. This was further confirmed when I reached out to 2 of my closest friends, John and Marianne, who I met at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows in the late 2010s. And it turns out you can bond with people really easily when you are in each other's proximity inside of an ungodly hot building in the middle of Reseda, California, while watching some of the best independent pro wrestling on earth. Before I wax any more poetry about how much I miss PWG, that's a whole different video in and of itself, here's what my friends had to say about Segundo Castillo. LAFC has a manager opening at the end of the year, sign him up. I would say toot for everything, but I need to know, do any of these match the team's kits? Bro, I wish I knew the technical terms for menswear, but his collar flap things are fire. Excellent question. The lining of his suits is very RuPaul coded. Klein, Epstein, and Parker. Unlike my 2 friends, nowhere near in tune with RuPaul's Drag Race and the toot and boot concept, but they understand what fashion looks like when they see it, and Sir Second Castle very much seems to pass the eye test for them. Which is good enough for me. But what do you all think of Segundo Castillo? Sound off in the comments below. No, not only because it does that whole thing with the algorithm and helps the video, but because I'm genuinely curious as to what you all think now that you've seen the most stylish football manager in the world today. Also, if you did enjoy this video, like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything but a few seconds of your time, and I do want to see if I can get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That will do it for me today though. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.